Welcome back to Understanding the Bible Online. In this session, we will be continuing with our study of the Gospel of Mark. Who is this Jesus we've been learning about? Mark has crafted a presentation of Jesus as the servant, an account given to the Gentiles to showcase Jesus as he who came not to be served, but to serve. Today, we are going to talk about what the servant instructed. Who do you say I am? In Mark chapter 8 and verse 29, Jesus poses this question. He is the Son of Man spoken of in Daniel. He is the Messiah, destined to die and be resurrected in 3 days. This is what the Son of Man must experience. Jesus is a servant of all, demolishing the powers of death, hell, and the grave. In Mark chapter 9, Jesus showcases this as he instructs on how to cast out demonic forces. In this story, he imparts the importance of prayer and fasting. What is prayer? Communication, petition to our Father in heaven. James 5 and 16 tells us the prayer of a person in right standing with God has great power in its effectiveness. The disciples of the servant have much to learn, just like us. In the text, they can be seen arguing over which of them is the greatest. And Jesus turns their argument upside down and tells them it is in fact he who acts as least or is the greatest servant, saying, anyone who wants to be first must be the very last and the servant of all. Mark chapter 9, verse 35. From giving a cup of water in his name to welcoming even the little ones in his name, a common theme can be understood in the instructions of Jesus. True discipleship, truly walking in his way, is to become a servant to all in his name, a face of Jesus in our day. Jesus instructs through the lens of brokenness of this world as he goes on to teach the disciples to beware of causing little ones who believe in him to sin. The hard-headed state of humanity and God's heart about divorce, the snare of the love of wealth, and the caution with which human ambition should be regarded. Jesus called them together and said, you know that those who are regarded as rulers over the Gentiles lord it over them, and their officials exercise authority over them. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be the first must be slave to all. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Mark chapter 10, verse 42 to 45. If we want to be like Jesus, we must become servants. The power of life and death is in our words, as the scriptures say, and we have the opportunity to point Christ or to point towards death. We have the opportunity to honor what God honors or harden our hearts against others. We have the opportunity to follow that which tickles our flesh, like wealth or serve with all our resources. We have the opportunity to promote ourselves or decrease as he increases. We have the opportunity to be a viewing glass into the heart of God as we serve the world around us, just as Jesus did. I want to call your attention to the story of Bartimaeus in Mark chapter 10. He received his healing from the servant Jesus. What can be learned from his story? He knew only Jesus could heal him. What can you receive from the great servant Jesus? He knew he needed the mercy of God, and his cries moved the heart of Christ. He acted in faith. He threw his cloak aside. He jumped up and he came to Jesus. He was ready to respond to the call of Christ. And he told Jesus exactly what he wanted. Have you told Jesus, our great Lord and servant, what your spirit man needs? Jesus told him, your faith has healed you. Jesus isn't looking for great deeds of mission or posturing. He's simply asking for our faith. And with it, our King, the servant, can do beyond what we know, ask, think, or imagine. Praise God for our precious Jesus, who came to serve and show us the way.